Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, May the 2nd, National Truffle Day. I think every year we talk about this, and every year I say, have we ever had those? Have we ever had those?
I don't think so.
Okay. National Life Insurance Day, National Kentucky Derby Day, National Fitness Day, National Scrapbook Day, National Homebrew Day, Join Hands Day, not this year. Do that from 6 feet apart. National Bombshells Day, National Start Seeing Monarchs Day, and Free Comic Book Day.
Okay.
I wonder if they're celebrating that this year. I remember our son was at a place that was doing that a couple years ago. I had no clue that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't
And he'd
either.
post the thing on Facebook early in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing up this early on a weekend?
Yeah, really?
Because he doesn't get up early usually. Sunday, the 3rd of May, is National SAN Architect Day. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
National Lumpy Rug Day.
We're so ridiculous. Like,
We don't know nothing.
I don't know.
National Garden Meditation Day. That sounds very
I know what that
peaceful.
is. I don't do it.
Special Able Pets Day, National Two Different Colored Shoes Day, National Paranormal Day, National Chocolate Custard Day. I'm not going to say national on all these because there's several of them. Raspberry Popover Day, Textiles Day, Montana Day, Infertility Day, and the final one, National Lemonade Day.
Jeepers.
A lot of stuff going on this weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I have a guest, by the way, Mark Divine, former Navy SEAL, officer, entrepreneur, best-selling author, leadership expert. We're going to talk to him about his new book called Staring Down the Wolf. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Researchers at the University of Bristol in England are encouraging pregnant women to abstain from any drinking whatsoever because they say even a small bit of alcohol can impair a child's brain function.
Haven't we already
Yeah,
known this?
we've known this for a long time, but there are some that are like, well, I just won't get drunk or I won't drink too much. And they're saying
wow.
don't drink anything.
Yeah, you don't drink when you're pregnant.
No, you just don't do that. I was so proud of Heidi when our baby girl, Taylor, this is 18 years ago now, but when you were pregnant with her, you didn't drink at all for that whole time. And she likes to have a drink from time to time. I don't know if you guys know that about her. So,
No, I didn't drink with either.
didn't you have a margarita in the hospital, though? That was when
When I
Troy
had
was born.
Troy, yeah.
She learned her lesson on that deal. Thanks. It's like, wasn't a good plan.
That was not a good idea.
Put that out there. This is surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. I've had this story for a while. I've been holding it because I didn't really want to read it, but crazy thing is there's very few drinking or drug stories right now because people have been home, which I guess if there's a positive silver lining, the good news is, well, people aren't doing dumb stuff under the influence as much, except for this one. In Illinois, I'm going to say dancer was arrested for driving under the influence, and she asked police to take her to a fast food drive-thru on the way to jail.
You know what? You can't blame her for trying.
Then she exposed herself. That's, again, I was not even going to read this. 28-year-old Shatra Mitchell was behind the wheel of a Pontiac G6 when Peoria police pulled her over. It says on here last Saturday, but I know this is like a month ago at least. It's been a while. She ran a stop sign at 1:45 a.m. When they pulled her over, they described what she's wearing. It was not much.
Not much?
No, very. And they said the vehicle smelled of alcohol. She had droopy eyelids, and they said she seemed to be very relaxed as her radio was loud and she was dancing in her seat. Her blood alcohol content was 0.204, more than twice the legal limit of 0.08. After being handcuffed, she said, "Hey, you guys swing through the drive-thru and give me something to eat?" They did not, by the way. And that's when she exposed herself. She was charged with drunk driving and disregarding a stop sign. That is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Empire ended their run with just 3 million viewers, which is really sad because that was, at one point, 17 million viewers watched that. And then when the Jussie Smollett scandal happened,
yeah, of course. Everybody's
their,
like,
their viewership tanked. And the sad thing is, don't blame the whole program for what one guy did. And he was a minor character.
Didn't they keep him on?
I don't know.
I thought they
didn't,
did, and that's
here's the thing.
why
I didn't
people
watch
were
it
like,
before, and I didn't watch it after. And it's not because
No,
I
I
had
didn't
anything
either.
against the show. We are trying so hard not to get hooked on more shows.
On TV shows,
Oh, my
yeah.
goodness. And then we got hooked on a couple of things. I watched 20 episodes of a
Yes, you
program.
did. And
And then I discovered I'm actually friends with the brother of one of the people in the thing. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. What? So, don't get hooked on binge watching stuff.
No.
Meanwhile, I had projects to do that I didn't get to.
Right.
So.
I'm good with a movie once in a while, but I don't want to get stuck on some show.
Yeah, me neither. Hey, one last thing here in big screen, little screen. The mansion Renee Zellweger stayed in when she filmed Judy is on the market. So if you're looking for a fancy schmancy mansion, there's one right there. I've got a link to it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com.
I'm not.
Still not going to...
No, I'm not clucking for you.
I've got her a rubber chicken on the way, so we're going to maybe get that going. Credit card companies are decreasing credit limits for people facing hard financial times in an effort to cover their own losses, which seems really weird because like right now is when people need the help and they're decreasing the credit limits.
Right.
Which,
I don't
again,
know.
I don't understand that. Yeah, I could go into a spiel about bettercreditcards.com, but I'm not going to. But anyway, I think it's very sad to even hear that whole thing. So Apple is working to fix a security flaw that allowed hackers to view private messages sent on iPhones and iPads.
That's not good.
Nope. And the United States Marines have canceled their annual physical fitness test because of social distancing guidelines. So I don't know what that means exactly other than if you wouldn't have passed, maybe now's the time to...
Right, now it's time to start bulking up a little bit.
Gonna have to order some larger uniforms? Maybe not. I don't know. A British charity that goes by the name of Medical Detection Dogs found that dogs may be able to sniff out the coronavirus. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they've got dogs that have
Dogs can sniff
been able
out
to sniff out like
cancer.
cancerous tumors,
Yeah.
things like that. And so
Dogs
medical...
are amazing.
Oh, they are. Our dogs, not
What are
so
cats
amazing.
doing to help out with
Oh,
this
cats,
stuff?
they do cat scans. They they don't involve
don't.
cats?
Not at all.
Well, I didn't know that. Now I feel silly. 7 more big cats, by the way, have tested positive for COVID-19. These at the Bronx Zoo. So they've not been social distancing there, clearly. San Francisco is closing a series of crowded streets to make it easier for people to practice social distancing. So here's my question. How is that going to help? Now you're going to have the not so crowded streets more crowded. All you're going to do is move the crowded streets over to the non-closed streets. You're not going to have fewer people because you closed a street. I don't know if they understand that. Somebody sent a message to San Francisco. A British couple who had been sailing around the world since January recently returned and found out about the coronavirus. They had never even heard about this since January. They were on a boat.
So they didn't have a
Nope.
radio. They didn't have
They were
anything.
completely unplugged. They were just
that
out.
would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Not even. I knew you were going to say that. I wouldn't even be a little bit interested in that.
Lovely.
Yeah, she gets upset with me because we'll be in the middle of a conversation. My phone will chime, and I'm like talking to her yet, and I'm looking out of my corner of my eye. She's like, "Do you need to check that?" I'm like, "I'm just wondering what that is." And one last thing here. British study shows dogs will experience separation anxiety when their humans go back to work.
I know that. Dogs experience separation anxiety if you walk to the mailbox.
Absolutely. Well, not all dogs. Our dogs do. And but the thing is, I think our dogs are getting sick of us. The other day, I noticed Mandy, she's the older of the two, she dragged over a newspaper and she was like pushing it to me. Here's some events. Go do something. Get out of here.
Go find something
Go
to
find
do.
something
You're
to
here
do.
all the
Yeah.
time.
I think you need to go for a walk. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Heck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to chat with our guest today, Mark Divine. He's got a new book called Staring Down the Wolf, 7 Leadership Commitments That Forge Elite Teams. Your background is a pretty impressive background. Let's talk about what you did before you put this book together.
Well, I was a SEAL commander. I was in the SEAL teams for 20 years, leading teams around the world. As part of that, I was actually a reserve officer, so I was able to get back into kind of business world, have a normal life, part-time, elite warrior, part-time business warrior. And through that, I started a business to help train special operators and Navy SEALs to dominate in their pipeline training and to be better warriors on the battlefield. That business called SEAL Fit. That training program we developed was extraordinarily successful. I mean, we have like a 90% success rate getting the young warriors through the SEAL pipeline training, which is pretty amazing when you think about the normal candidates, like 85% fail rate. So anyways, that's led to a lot of interest from civilians, from business people, from entrepreneurs, from corporations, and it tends to be very effective now for what we're dealing with this whole COVID crisis, because the training really is to teach these individuals how to dominate in the most high-stress, nasty environments known to man. We call it VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. This whole book, Staring Down the Wolf, is really to help leaders, give them the tools to dominate in VUCA and to become really effective team builders and teammates themselves.
Now, there are a lot of people who are trying to lead a team through these very uncertain waters that we're living in right now. And I understand when you're in the middle of this, it's tough to realize that, hey, this is going to be done eventually. But there are probably things we should be thinking about right now while we're in the middle of it that's going to make it a lot easier for us when we get to the finish line, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, one of our core messages is this is an unbelievable opportunity. Regardless of when it ends, you've all of a sudden pressed the pause button and you have the opportunity to take a look at what's working, what's not working, and can some old habits and patterns that just weren't serving you well. Those patterns can be your daily routines around your physical health, as well as your mental health, as well as your mental agility and ability to move fast, the patterns that kept us stuck, right? In the book, I talk a lot about how these conditioned patterns tend to also be what limits us from really unlocking the potential of our team. So our teams get stuck because the leader's stuck. And so what a great time right now to retool your life, your way of showing up physically, mentally, and emotionally, so that your team can help you retool the culture or the organization that you're either part of or that you are the owner of. And all of you can come through this stronger with more momentum, learning how to kind of move faster and break things and to be really optimistic that things will turn out better. What a great time to develop some optimism and a positive mindset and stare down your fear wolf and cultivate courage.
And whether you're leading a business through this, or you're leading your family through this, or your group of friends through this, a lot of people that are leaders right now, this is their moment to shine, or maybe their moment to fail, everybody, and you want to shine, right?
That's right. And everyone first must lead themselves. It's almost like we are our first teammate, right? There's the ego, which is driven by fear, and that ego is in the mind. That's where the fear wolf resides. And then there's the heart aspect of you, or your kind of soul center, and that's in your heart, and that's where the courage wolf resides. So it's almost like there are two of you, and the courage wolf needs to lead, or else the fear wolf will dominate. So first lead yourself. And in these times, it's an opportunity to just really up your game, improve your physical training, finally take that meditation and that breath work seriously, as opposed to saying, oh, I wish I had time for that. You have nothing but time right now, right? And work on that presence and being more connected at a heart level with your family and then your team. Work on those things first. Be like Gandhi said, the change that you want to see, and then let your teams learn through your example, and let your family learn through your example first. And that might simply be enough, John, right? Everything first starts from within and starts with the individual, and then it ripples out from there. So take care of yourself now and just see what happens to all those around you. And I think that we'll all start to flourish with that attitude.
And like you mentioned, a lot of folks have time on their hands right now. So if one of the things that you're doing with that time is saying, hey, I want to read, I want to improve myself, Staring Down the Wolf, 7 leadership commitments that forge elite teams. It's available now. Where can I find a copy of this, sir?
Well, it came out in the first week of March, right when COVID kind of slapped us all in the face. It's available at all bookstores, even if you haven't heard of it yet. And we do have a website, StaringDownTheWolf.com, where you can get some free video training, and we'd be thrilled to help you. And all of our training can be found at MarkDivine.com or our corporate training site, UnbeatableMind.com.
Mark, thank you again for your time today, and also thank you for your service to our country.
Well, I really appreciate that, John. Keep doing what you're doing, and thank you all.
Absolutely. Again, Mark Divine, Staring Down the Wolf. It's available now. We'll throw a link to all of the info in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
You can always see your nose. Did you know you can see your nose right now?
I did know I could see my nose.
Human brain is capable of amazing things, but in order to do these things, it needs to block out other distractions through the process. It's called unconscious selective attention. Your nose is in the way of a bunch of stuff. So, to avoid the distraction, you just don't see it. In a landmark 1960s study, Ulrich Neisser discovered this phenomenon after he asked participants to count the number of times basketball players passed a ball in a video. What the large majority failed to notice in the video was a girl walking through the middle of the court with an umbrella because they were so focused on counting the number of times. So that was an example of this unconscious selective attention.
Okay.
So, they're like, okay, did you see anything else happen? I'm like, no, but they passed it 7 times. Right. So, interesting stuff. Our brains are amazing. Heidi, I love your brain.
Why, thank you, John.
And the rest of you. When I married you, I got the whole package.
Yes, you did.
Thanks for listening to today's Fun Fact.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline England. We've been to England a lot lately for this, haven't we?
We have.
There's a lot of stuff going on. And I had like 3 England stories that I just threw into our regular scoop of the day because I'm like,
not only for this, just for all of our stories, it seems like
I know,
a lot.
but
yeah.
I put, because I was like, I don't want to put them all here because I don't want people to get sick of England.
Sure.
But Dateline England, a British woman gave birth while her husband led police on a high-speed chase that topped 90 miles an hour while a 2-year-old daughter was in the back seat.
Was he heading to the hospital?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so
but they're trying to pull him over, and they're calling that a high-speed chase. Again, I don't know. Maybe he did something else, and that's why they're... But if you're giving birth, keep going.
Oh, yeah, keep going. You
maybe
get help.
Dial 911 and let them know,
right.
And somebody
Officers
could give you a police escort or something. I don't know. I'm confused. I do have a link to the story if you want to read all about it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A man arrested twice for grabbing a female Walmart employee by the hind end said that's just how he talks to women. What? This could have been our moment of duh, but it's just so bizarre. It had to be the weird news. So 30-year-old Juan Antonio Velez was following a victim, a 29-year-old young lady who worked at a Walmart. And at one point, he told police the 6'3", 250-pound Velez walked up to her and grabbed her by the backside, and then did that again. The woman subsequently told management she was afraid, so they took her into an office. When they asked him what was going on, he said, "Hey, it's just how I talk to women."
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You get to talk to our booking agent.
And she's a woman.
She's going to give you a nice little vacation behind these bars. He was arrested for battery, booked into the county jail on a misdemeanor charge. So, yeah, not good. It's today's Weird News.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Fire marshals in Louisiana say a man set his mother's shed on fire because he was angry about not getting a stimulus check. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
What? This could have been the weird news. They were like interchangeable. I didn't know which one to make weird news and which to make moment of duh.
Quickly.
51-year-old Marvin Smith Jr. got into a dispute with his mother over the federal payout before the arson happened. Investigators were able to determine this fire was intentionally set inside their shed. Witnesses told them they saw him in the shed moments before the fire started. They also said they saw him flee the scene after the fire started. He was booked into jail on arson. They believe he was armed with a knife, by the way.
What the
He was charged with other crimes by the sheriff. It was not immediately clear if he had a lawyer that would comment on his behalf. But so I don't know if
how does that help his
I
situation?
don't know. I thought long and hard about this, and maybe he was thinking, I'm going to get insurance money from this. I don't know if that's what it was. It doesn't say that. He wasn't charged with insurance fraud, which you'd think you would be if that was the motive.
If he was caught too quick, he
But I'm
wouldn't
saying,
have had
that
a
would have
chance
been-
to turn it in for insurance
But
fraud.
that would have been the only motive I can think of. I can't
Right.
imagine, Mom, I'm so angry I didn't get this check.
I'm just saying they couldn't charge him
I'm
with
gonna
it
burn
until
your
he
shed
tried
down.
to get insurance money.
Makes no sense. That's why it's today's moment of duh.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. At this point in the program, I read a headline. And then my beautiful bride, Heidi, that's this gorgeous woman sitting next to me, she has to tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida? Or is it hashtag fake news made up to trick her and you and amuse me? Here we go. Fake news or Florida. Marion County man live streamed his police chase, which hit speeds of 110 miles an hour. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say Florida.
And you're going to be right. I remember reading that story.
I don't remember reading that one, but I
I
could
do.
totally see some moron doing that.
I think what you mean to say is presumed. He was potentially. Yeah, no, if he was... Can you imagine going to court then trying to fight that? I did not do that, Your Honor. How about this video here?
We
where
have a video of you.
There's a video of you doing that. It's just
Yeah.
not smart. But then again, that is really not a thing a smart person would do.
Not at all.
Time now, right there, to wrap up fake news or Florida.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of hashtag gift card challenge, which, by the way, is continuing this whole month, and a huge thank you to everybody that's been part of that. There's more information at giftcardchallenge.org. And our good news today, Pakistan hires more than 63,000 unemployed people, and they had them plant trees for the country's 10 billion trees project. That's a cool thing.
That is cool.
So saying, hey, we're gonna give you guys some money anyway. So could you do me a favor? Could you go plant some trees?
Right.
What an awesome idea.
That is a great idea.
So they're hiring 63,000 people to plant what they call saplings. That's just like a little branch with leaves on it. It's part of their country's 10 billion tree tsunami project. And there's a lot of people in Pakistan who are out of work right now. And workers have been given new jobs. They call this jungle workers. That's planting trees. I think that's a weird name for it, but they're trying to create a jungle. So due to COVID-19, cities have shut down. There was no work. Most of us daily wage earners couldn't earn a living, a resident of this country said. His name is here and the city's here. I don't know how to pronounce either of them, so I'm going to just move on. Said, all of us now have a way of earning a daily wage to feed our families again. He said he makes 50 rupees per day planting trees. I'm sorry, 500 rupees per day.
I don't know how much that is.
That's $3 like U.S. per day.
Oh, wow.
It's about half of what he would have made on a good day before. So before he would have made like $6 a day.
Wow.
But he said it's enough to get by during the lockdown. September 2018, the Prime Minister started a 5-year countywide 10 billion tree program wanting to plant these trees. Now, and they were pacing well, but they said, hey, you know what? We'll hit our goal. Maybe we'll hit it early if we got all these people that can help us now, and then we'll pay them something. I just think it's kind of a cool idea. I don't know. I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Bye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.